is there anything that you can do to reduce the cost of a home cinema design and install? The short answer is yes, but I think the best thing to do would be to break it down into a couple of different sections so that it's easier to digest. We'll start with the structural things that you can do, then move on to the electrical, and then finally finish with the aesthetics and the actual components going into the room, the home cinema equipment. So structurally, you can actually do quite a lot. If you've ever built a stud-work wall for your home or business, then chances are you can probably manage doing the timber work and the stud work and the plasterboard for your home cinema project. The thing is though, home cinema companies do work to very, very exact measurements. So be prepared for delays and potential, kind of relationship problems with the integrator if you don't do things to the very, very exact standards that they expect. The integrator, for the most part, should be absolutely happy to let you do that though. So if you do liaise with your integrator to get the plans for the space in terms of the woodwork that's being done, then all good home cinema companies should produce plans for that type of thing rather than eyeballing it. So just make sure that you have a chat with them and let them know that that's something that you would like to do. But ultimately, with building materials on the rise and with labour anything between 280 and 400 pounds per day per man, you could save a hell of a lot of money by actually doing the structural woodwork yourself for your cinema space. A disclaimer though, anything that requires real structural work, with it being existing walls or anything that you may have to contact building regulations for, just don't touch it. It's best to let a professional do that. With electrical, echoing the statement that I just made about letting a professional do the things, I wouldn't recommend that you do anything regarding high voltage in the home. Anything that to do with mains power, you should leave well alone and let a professional handle it. But there are certainly things that you can do regarding speaker cabling, for instance, that would absolutely save a lot of money on site. Running your own cable, because it is quite a time-consuming job, but it doesn't require a lot of expertise, just need to be instructed well, is actually a good way of saving money on labor costs, because running thousands of feet of cable around your home through walls can take a team of laborers quite a long time to do. So bear that in mind. As you're already here, maybe watch a YouTube video on how to run cable. I'm sure we will probably produce one at some point, but we haven't as of yet. So aesthetics is something that's a little bit more subjective. It's harder to put a number on because ultimately, depending on how you want the room to look at the end is going to depend how much money you have to spend on it. If the room is a dedicated cinema space like the one I'm in now, this is actually going to have fabric panels going all the way around the room, hiding the speakers from being on show. That is more expensive than potentially some of the other jobs we've done where they want it to be more of a media room or a living room where the speakers are actually just mounted on the walls, which reduces the need for fabric paneling, which reduces the need for space frame like systems and extra stud work. Obviously you may not even have to use stud work around the entire room if you opt for a media room style installation. That's going to save a reasonable amount of budget as well. The big thing here is though that the more you think about aesthetics and saving money on aesthetics, and the more it moves away from being the look of a dedicated cinema space, the more likely it is going to affect performance. Typically dedicated cinema spaces with full fabric walling and speakers behind are going to produce the best audio and video result for you. As far as electronics are concerned, I would not recommend buying any of the, kind of projector, the speakers, the AVR, any of the other components yourself. Home cinema companies quite rightly do not want to support or install products that they haven't sold and made the profit on. That's totally fair. The other thing is they're also not going to want to support those products because if they haven't been bought through the right channels, then there's a chance that the warranties and the coverage and that comes with those things isn't going to be what they need it to be covered. So bear that in mind before purchasing any of your own kit. Should that particular component go wrong and start affecting other components within the system that the home cinema company did provide, which can happen, this is one of the main reasons why they do not want third-party purchased products coming into the cinema space. There is one area, however, where I think you could get great value by arranging yourself rather than through your home cinema company, and that's seating. Now, there are some fantastic home cinema seating companies, both here and abroad, that provide amazing seats for anything from £900 all the way up to like £3,500. And it's definitely a get what you pay for scenario, but I would say that in modern cinemas now, it is very commonplace for people to put non-cinema seating into their cinema spaces in order to save budget. Often a cinema seating as a whole could make up 30 to 40% of the overall budget of your cinema. So by reducing that, maybe making some of the seating flexible seating, such as beanbags, as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, or choosing maybe, you know, a Furniture Village DFS, that kind of sofa or seats for your space can drastically reduce the amount of money that you spend. If you found this video helpful and you want us to make more of it and you want to watch a lot more, please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for all of the latest cinema info and tips.